Let's jump to this story from timcast.com about Beto O'Rourke, a sick S.O.B, says the town mayor. O'Rourke interrupts Uvalde's school shooting press conference, gets called a sick son of a B by town mayor. Talk about one of the most disgusting things. Look, man, I got my disagreements with Beto O'Rourke, that's for sure. He's a goofy guy who thinks he can skateboard. He can barely stand on the board as it is. And he says, heck yeah, we're going to take your guns. Okay, those are bad ideas, but this was just the worst. Texas gubernatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke was escorted out of a press conference about the Robb Elementary tragedy on Wednesday after an outburst aimed at current Governor Greg Abbott, saying that the governor, it was totally predictable, the governor was doing nothing. This is the stupidest thing ever, because Texas has constitutional carry. So what do you mean doing nothing? A crazy person did something really crazy, and Beto has offered no solutions. Not a single Democrat has offered any tangible solution, not a single one, period. I will say that as a statement of fact. They can come out and offer up their empty ideas and meaningless. They love to rag on conservatives, thoughts and prayers. What's the difference between common sense gun reform and background checks? It's meaningless. It will do nothing, solve nothing, and what does common sense even mean? Right. They're saying the exact same things when they criticize thoughts and prayers. They're offering nothing.
Yeah. If you can 3D print a gun, I mean, what does any of that really mean?
Exactly.
You know, it's the technological age again, and going back to, I mean, that's really the future. It doesn't really matter. And I don't think Republicans have offered many good solutions either. I have to say that, because no one's getting to the root of the problem, which is the culture. I mean, it's the culture that's a problem that is affecting these young men. I mean, we have failed our young men to a degree that this is happening. I mean, from 1903 to 1960 or 70, I believe, there were 3 mass shootings in America in total. Really? And now you have all this happening. I mean, multiple a year, and it's a problem of culture.
It is narcissism.
Yeah.
I think modern America and many other countries in the world, but I can only speak for the culture here, is just we are sitting beneath a blanket of narcissism, especially for the millennial generation. And younger.
What do you think that stems from?
Man, I don't know. I think it probably is rooted in this idea that, you know, when I was growing up, I was told you can be anything you want to be, like an astronaut or a rock star, all of these things. Where's the humble culture that says there is something special in a good, hard day's work? Be a carpenter.
You know what I'd say? If I think about that a little bit more, I would say it's society that asks nothing of people, like of young men, for example, and certainly not the things that we used to think were good qualities for young men to have. If you ask nothing of young people, what will they do? They'll just sort of think only about how they are, how they feel, who they are, and therefore will become narcissistic, because there's nothing that society demands of them.
I saw this Libs of TikTok video just before the show. It was this woman talking about her polyamorous relationships. And she's like, I call it a polycule because it's like a molecule, but it's like all the different relationships we have. And then she made, like, you ever see those conspiracy theory wall things where they take the red twine to the thumbtacks? It was that, but all the people she was married to one guy, dating another guy. And she says, it's just the funniest thing ever. She goes, okay, let me show it to you now. At the center is me. And I just bust out laughing when I heard that. I'm like, I know that she doesn't mean it's all about me necessarily, but that's what it is.
That's what it conveys.
That's all about what it is. My life, my experience, and nothing else. The people who are this, it's funny, the socialists are the most selfish people I've ever met.
Oh, yeah.
Ironic.
I mean, you guys are a little bit older than me, but I talk to a lot of men my age and older, maybe a little bit younger.
How old are you?
25. Yeah. 160 pounds.
Right.
Yeah. And I'll talk to a lot of young men, and they'll be like, we'll be talking about World War II or World War I or something, or, you know, even medieval knights or something. And they'll say, man, I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have been fighting in something like this or been a part of something like this.
Yeah, you see, again, that society asks nothing of them, so they crave those types of things.
There's nothing for them to do. There is no great war for them. There's no great purpose for them. They move to San Francisco and work in some marketing department of some new tech startup, and their life sucks and they have no meaning.
There's one thing they can do: psychoactive drugs, courtesy of pharmaceutical companies like Klonopin for 14-year-olds and stuff.
Well, it's basically speed, but legal speed.
How many of these shooters are on some sort of drug? I want to know, because you see their eyes at half the time. I mean, I see the one guy who looked like the Joker from Batman. His eyes are real wide. The other guy, Lanza or something, had big eyes real wide. Adam Lanza. And I think this was this person a cross dressing the shooter in
That's not
Texas?
real.
I
That
don't
was
know,
fake.
that's
Okay, that's a fake
confirmed.
meme.
Yeah, no,
I don't know if this person was on some sort of psychoactive, if their parents were on some sort of drug, but I think that's a big part of it.
I mean,
me-
there are
let-
cities in America that run out of Adderall for young men. That they prescribe it so much to kids that they run out and have to re-up in these cities.
That's a question that needs to be asked about the prescriptions of amphetamines and mind-altering
Yes.
Yep.
chemicals.
Yep.